Hello everybody, and welcome to the Phoenix's Forge. In this episode, we're going to do something we've never done before. And by that I mean, we're going to be doing woodworking. So, this is going to be a sword build. We are going to build one of these. This is pretty much my favorite training sword I own, except for this one that I just built. Pretty much like this thing. I made it the other day, which gave me the idea to make another one. Another one of these. Another one of these, I should say. This is my long one. This one's more traditional length. It's like 40 some inches, I think. Whereas this one's like 33 inches long in total. Whereas this one's like 46 or something like that. So we're going to make another one of these so I can have twin versions of this out of one of these. Now this is a marking stake, if you will. You know, the construction companies use it and such. I found mine over at a building that was doing recovering their, not concrete, asphalt. They were recovering the asphalt. So they had two of these laying around, which is where I made this one, which was the full-length one that I was able to cut down to make a longer one. And then there's this broken one here. Luckily, I was hoping that it would be this way, but they're pretty different in length. So I'll be able to cut this one right here, cut this one right here, and then they'll be the same length, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to bring you down to the sander where we are going to start. Be right back. So the first thing we're going to do is just sand all the rough edges off. We're going to sand a handle's width up, handle's width in here somewhere. I know it's a small handle, but this sword, whoa. This sword here has a very short handle. I mean, it's only a little bit bigger than my hand. So we're going to go for the same size as this one. So we're going to sand this area and make it smooth. What I didn't do on this one was use an electrical tape grip like I did on the other one, which is what I'm going to do on this one because I like it a lot more. And once we've sanded it down and got all the dirt off of it, because it was stuck in the ground, we're going to, so once we clean up all the edges, we're going to cut the point, and then I'll show you how to wrap the handle. So let's get started. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is cut the point. And I have the miter box over there. It's a trashed miter box, but it's a miter box, and I was going to use that to make a perfect 45. But this sword actually isn't a 45. It's a little less. Or, yeah, it's a little less. So I'm just going to do one of these. I'm going to line up this end, grab it, mark it, check it, because it's better to check it twice, cut it once. That'll work. It's a little proud, but should work. Now we just spend the next 5 minutes cutting. So I'll be right back once I... Oh, wait. Never mind. That's right, this is a really sharp saw. I just bought a new saw not too long ago, so that's pretty useful. So now, they're the same size, give or take. This way. Yeah, they're the same size, give or take a little bit on one end. And so now we're going to go wrap the handle, and I'll show you what else I'm going to do. So, be right back. Got our sword here. Oh, I need my other sword. 1 second. Just thought of it. So we've got our swords here. I'm doing this out here because I can set it on something that I know won't fall over. And basically now what you do is I think I'm going to make the grip the same length. So right there. Basically, I should have really marked this, but it doesn't have to be super precise. So what you do is you start like so, and then you come around. It looks a little messy, but you're going to cover that up. This is just so the end gets a nice little cap on it. I'm going to move my hand. Now what you do is you slowly bring it down. I'm going to come closely. So it looks something like this. You wrap it over, then you wrap it around, and then you just keep coming down. And now the thing about this is the tape is going to overlap slightly. I don't know if you can see that, but if it overlaps slightly, that's just what you want. Because then when we get to where we want to be, when we get to the length that we want to have it at, which I'll have to guess at for the time being because I need to grab the sword. But once you figure out where you want to be, which I'm probably getting somewhat close to, let me just keep going. So I'm using electrical tape for this. You don't have to use electrical tape. I just find it's best because it's stretchy and therefore you don't get any creases along the sides. So I'm going to check here how we're looking. Okay, we got to keep going for another, let's see, 3 wraps. I'll just stick that there. So how's this? Okay, I need another full wrap of tape, which means going somewhere in here. Check that once more. Okay, so I went a little too far, but that's pretty much what you want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to straighten it out here. And straight is relative. So now that we've gone all the way around on this level, so we made a full loop, kind of like we started here, we're going to go back down the handle. Now it's a little hard to tell what you're doing on the way down because you've already wrapped the handle, so it's not just blatantly easy to tell where you've been. I've wrapped a few handles, so it's just not particularly hard. I mean, I'm coming off slightly, so I need to just readjust that layer. But this is going to give you a really nice grip to grip onto. Whereas this one in between my legs here, I didn't do anything but spray paint the handle. This was so I could put it on my belt, but I didn't do anything but spray paint the handle. So it's not a very nice grip. Whereas when you wrap it twice with electrical tape, it turns out really nice. And, you know, easy to grip and all that stuff. So it's very nice in that respect. And also, when you use electrical tape with these little bumps, it turns out very grip-like in its texture as well. By texture, I just mean how it ends up feeling. It feels very grip-like, if you will. And then you just come around once, and we're going to tear it off there, set that on my camera, and now you've got your wrapped handle. So, nicely wrapped handle. So as you can see, they can pair up pretty nicely in length and style. So the next thing we're going to do is take it back inside, and I'm going to show you this little trick I found yesterday for the other sword that I didn't put on the other sword yet, but I'm going to put on this one. And then we're just going to put a coat of gray, and we're pretty much done. So let's go back inside. Basically, the next step is we have my long sword here. This is the long one that I painted and everything. As you can see, there's two little holes right there and right there. And those are for these. Which these are an addition I made to this sword style a couple days ago. Let me just screw this on here. There's two of them, one for each side. Now, they aren't terribly level, but I don't really care. And that is just a little help, so it's a little place you can knock, or, you know, run into before you slide up onto the sword blade, which takes place of the little tape one here, which I don't really like the look of, but it served its purpose, whereas this one will do the same thing, except it's just a little more industrial and nice looking. So now that we've done that on this one, I'm going to take said sword and drill the holes for it. Then we're going to paint it, and then we're going to put them on. So I'll be right back. So, So while the sword is drying, which I've got it doing right here, I'm going to tell you a little something. So the reason I painted it gray is because I don't have any silver on hand. I did that with the long one too, but it looks fine. So I think it's okay. And yeah, so that's the reason it's gray and not silver, like a sword would be. And it's also a different gray than the gray over there, but I don't really care. So that's about it for the build. I'm going to do another coat of paint, and then I'll show you it when it's all painted, and I'll put the little things on either side. So we'll be back once I've done those things. See you then.